right, Matrixx and Rhodes show supporters, let's talk about late night television. Now, I guess if you're paying attention to late night TV, you realize that for about 8 years now, it's turned into a total shit fest. It's awful. It is totally awful, and it's because late night television has pulled a card from the mainstream media, and they do what? They do nothing but attack conservatives and President Trump. It's unwatchable dog shit. Total dog shit. It's unwatchable. It's horrible to sit down and try to consume late night television outside of Gutfeld, which is very good. All right, over on Fox News. But besides that, you've got Stephen Colbert that's always peeing and crying and moaning over the Wuhan virus and how much you need to get your vaccine and get your swab. Anybody remember that horrible skit he put on about getting the vaccine? This segment paid for by Pfizer. No shit. You don't say. And then you got Jimmy Kimmel, who, much like the video I did yesterday on Rob Reiner, and we've talked about Mark Hamill and Alyssa Milano, Jimmy Kimmel has a massive case of Trump derangement syndrome. Oh, he also hates Aaron Rodgers, too. Let me not forget that little tidbit in all this. So Jimmy Kimmel has come out and said that there is a chance he could retire. What's that sound? I believe it's 60% of America celebrating this completely talentless tool, a guy that's went ultra woke, in my opinion, probably a closeted hypocrite, considering the guy used to host something called The Man Show, which I remember very well with Adam Carolla and Joe Rogan, where he actually attempted to be an alpha male. Well, this beta exposed himself. Trump derangement syndrome brings out the worst in everybody. Well, Trump has weighed in on the potential retirement of this talentless hack, Jimmy Kimmel. And much like the rest of us, Trump is celebrating this. Thank God. I think this is all doing us all a big favor. So, good riddance. That was the farewell message from former President Donald Trump to late-night host Jimmy Kimmel, as it appears the latter's talk show could be coming to an end. Please, end it. End it all. Take it out to the pasture and put a bullet in it. Trump took to his Truth Social outlet to make public his regards, saying, let's just scroll down, quote, they could get a far more talented person who would get better ratings, who wouldn't get better ratings, for 5% of what they are paying this loser. Now, in case you don't know, folks, for whatever reason, there are a ton of resources and money given to these late night television shows. And all of them have about probably about a 60% drop in ratings over the last, say, 6 to 8 years. All right? In large part because they have crapped all over hardworking American patriots. They have crapped all over Trump supporters. All right? Anybody that they can construe as a conservative or a MAGA supporter, Jimmy Kimmel, Stephen Colbert, they have taken a massive mango-sized dump all over not only Trump, but that side of America. And in turn, just like everything else, these Americans, like me, have tuned out of these shows that have become horrible to watch. Trump's words of farewell came after a recent interview with the New York Times that saw the 56-year-old talk show host, who is gearing up to host the Academy Awards for the fourth time, nobody will watch, revealing his current contract might be his last. We can only hope. Quote, I think this is my final contract, Kimmel told the publication. I hate to even say it because everyone's laughing at me now each time I think that, and then it turns out to not be the case. However, after recently celebrated the show's 21st anniversary, Kimmel said the time he has remaining on his current contract might be satisfactory enough for him. Guys, if you do not realize this, look, Gutfeld has taken over the ratings of late night, all right? He is now the number one guy And to give you an idea, they only give there's only 5 or 6, 7 people that work on that Gutfeld show, all right? But somebody like Kimmel has like 45 people working on that show. It's ridiculous. And it's not even his stuff that he's going out there and saying a lot of times. They have this group of like comedy writers that put all this crap together, and we all know the politics and where they lean. Quote, I still have a little more than 2 years left on my contract, and that seems pretty good, he noted. That seems like enough. Kimmel has never sought to hide his contempt for Trump, both during his time in White House and since, littering his shows with sneering disdain for the likely 2024 Republican challenger. Last month, Kimmel fantasized about Trump dying, saying if the Supreme Court rules against Trump's presidential immunity argument, quote, it might have actually killed him, to which the network live audience applauded enthusiastically. I'm sure they did, wearing their Wuhan virus mask in the crowd. The Disney-owned ABC comedian regularly uses his late-night platform to bash Trump and his supporters. As a result, the show has fallen precipitously in the ratings, which is what we were talking about, with Kimmel himself publicly acknowledging his incessant Trump bashing has seen, quote, half of my fans, maybe more than that, flee to other alternatives. And that's the most baffling thing. And that tells you all you need to know about these networks and studios like Disney. There's no way in hell that, let's go back 10 years, pre-Trump and Trump supporters and conservatives, that all taking over the sort of mainstream narrative of all these clowns. Go back 10 years. If a host of anything lost 60%, let's say, of its viewership, he acknowledges it's been half, probably more of his viewers have turned the TV off of him. If that would have happened, this guy would have been without a job long ago. He'd have been hitting the streets, right? Looking for work in the unemployment line. But in this day and time, studios like Disney, ABC, CBS, NBC, the 3-letter networks that all hate Trump, are willing to keep these people employed when they're blatantly failing at their jobs. All right? I mean, back in the day, that would get your show canceled. They're not canceling late nights, so they would have replaced him with a different host. But because they hate Trump so much, they're willing to lose audiences and money and continue to prop up these people to the point that this loser hosts the Oscars. By the way, what's happened with the Oscars? Hell, it's lost 60% of its audience. Why? It's turned into a political woke shit show. And they get up there and they hate on people like President Trump and conservatives. Click, TVs went off. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Trump's right. I mean, you could get somebody else that's more talented and pay him far less because there's no telling what Jimmy Kimmel's making now. That's the other thing. These hosts get paid a ridiculous sum of money. It's crazy. It's crazy. And all the while, their advertisers don't bitch because those companies are woke. It's the most ridiculous rolling down a hill free fall snowball of shit you've ever heard of or seen in your entire life. I, much like Trump, will celebrate Jimmy Kimmel hitting the road. We're good. Don't let the door hit you in the ass. Make sure you hit subscribe, like, comment, share. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.